And now we come to the final of our maritime industries for New Hampshire, shipbuilding. So one of the apprentices that was working on the ship Ranger, which was a John Paul Jones ship in Langdon's shipyard, was William Badger. He acquired about 3 acres of land on the island in 1797. And from then on, he would dominate shipbuilding until his death in about 1830. He launched more than 100 ships, including naval vessels, merchant vessels, and privateers. So the region had really produced a lot of fine shipbuilders, including also his nephew, Samuel Badger, but it was William who was really the best known. And the island was eventually named for him, Badger Island. Then in 1837, Frederick Fernald purchased Badger's shipyard. And then in 1844, he was joined by William Pettigrew to establish the shipyard Fernald and Pettigrew. They produced about 30 ships, and among their output was a series of clipper ships. Clipper ships were the pinnacle of speed in sailing form. They were first built for the tea trade going to China, but they were eventually designed to be even faster for the run to San Francisco in the gold rush days. But then, as steamship technology began to supersede sailing, the clippers fell out of use. One of the most famous of these clippers, the Flying Cloud, was built by Donald Mackay in Boston, and it was navigated by the captain's wife, Eleonora Creasy. She was also the captain's daughter, so she'd learned how to navigate early. In 1853, the ship Flying Cloud, with her navigating, made a record time from New York City to San Francisco in only 89 days and 8 hours. This record was not beaten by another sailing boat until the 1980s. And if you look on the right there, you can see a shipyard in Essex, Massachusetts, and they're putting up the frames of the skeleton work of a ship. So at the Fernald Pettigrew shipyard, this list shows the clippers that they built on Badger Island. The most famous of these being the Typhoon. Launched in 1851, Typhoon set a sailing record to Liverpool, England in only 13 days and 10 hours dock to dock. The ship was known as the Portsmouth Flyer, and it was the largest merchant ship yet seen in that port. So the other names on here are Typhoon, Red Rover, Young Australia, Water Witch, Dashing Wave, Express, Midnight, and Noonday. All of these would be great ships to research more. Unfortunately, Badger's Island would eventually lose its importance as a shipbuilding center. The industry shifted just a little ways downriver to Fernald's Island and the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. So in conclusion for this lecture, although it's broken into 3 parts, just looking at how the industry, despite New Hampshire having such a short coastline, there were still so many ships that went out fishing, especially those, far more of them near shore than going out to the fishing banks. And although it was very short-lived, they did attempt to participate in whaling for a decade and some there. But it was the shipbuilding itself that remained strong, and we'll look at that again in the 20th century lectures. And now on to steamships.